Hey guys, Felipe Diaz-Vera here, and I want to tell you about a new project that I'm doing. Now, I know it's been a while since I've been to the whole Monkey Team thing, but I've been trying to throw a bone here or there to the people that are subscribed to me, since, let's face it, the only reason you are even subscribed is because I uploaded the episodes. So, I wanted to try something new. I was a big fan of this series that Jesu Otaku is doing called In-Betweens, where she's talking about the entire series of Trigun from beginning to end, and she's reviewing it as the series goes on. And so, basically I'm ripping that off, but I want to take this time to tell you what I'm basically doing. I'm going to be watching every episode of the series, front to back, and sort of analyzing it. The first few episodes are going to be really in-depth because I'm going to be approaching this like I haven't seen the series before. And to be honest, it's been about 2 years since I've seen a full episode. I do still, clips, music videos, that kind of thing, but plus I've just sat down to watch this series, and so that's what I'm going to do, and comment on it, and talk about character growth, plot, and just the weird moments that happen. And hopefully you all enjoy it. And so this is just my introduction of saying, enjoy it.
I feel the best way to begin this series is to talk about the opening. Right off the bat, we get a basic summation of the main plot.
While exploring the outskirts of the city, I discovered an abandoned super robot. It was then my life was transformed by the mysterious power of Primate. The robot monkeys were awakened, and I, Shiro, made their leader. Our quest, save Shugazum City from the evils of the Skeleton King.
Simple enough. We will dig into the whys of this series, like why Shiro is the leader, or why Skeleton King wants to destroy Shugazum, when we get there. The theme song itself is high-energy stuff from the group called Prolouge. Yes, they are a real group, and their songs are... but it does fit the series to a T, and is rather enjoyable. Before we get into the actual first episode, let's give a little background. Ciro Nieli is the creator of the show, and while he has a lot of credits to his name, his real claim to fame is being a director on Teen Titans, including the episode that introduced us to Terra. Monkey Team actually has a lot of influence not only from Teen Titans, but from DC Comics as a whole, and I will point those out when we get there. Let's meet our main cast, shall we?
I thought you wouldn't understand, so I kept the little secret. What's the big deal?
Our main hero is Chiro, a young boy who has bestowed upon him the power of Primate. It is clear he is still young and abandons his duties for various reasons and tends to complain a bit, but still he knows when he makes mistakes and tries to compensate for them, and we will see how Chiro grows as a character as the series rolls on. Chiro is voiced by Greg Sipes. Sipes, I will bring up his past career the least out of everybody else, since other than minor TV roles, you would only really recognize him for 3 other roles. Ryan, the lion cub from the overlooked Disney movie The Wild. Abio from Puka, which if you watched Monkey Team on Jetix, you should have at least heard of the series. But most obviously...
This is the greatest pie in the history of pie.
Yep, that's Beast Boy as our main hero. Score 1 on the DC counter.
Hi, Nova. Wow, you got a good grip.
Nova is the only girl on the team, and yet is perceived as the best hand-to-hand fighter. Nova definitely is the one with a tough exterior, but also seems to deep down really care about everybody. Just doesn't care to express it much. Carrie Walgren does the voice of Nova, and while she does have a very prominent role in the cartoon voice acting community, such as Emma Frost in Wolverine and the X-Men or Chelsea in Fishhooks, she is probably best known as one of the most infamously awesome anime characters of all time.
Haruko's mastered the guitar in 1 millisecond class! Yes! Sign up now!
Do you find this difficult to understand?
It's kind of crazy how loved Haruko from Furikuri is, which got her a lot of roles in anime as well as video games, which she has a far more impressive resume in.
I go by Otto.
Otto is the team's mechanic, and yet for how smart he is with technology, he tends to play dumb a bit. Possibly it is just in his personality to be quite blunt, but early on we do know he is much smarter than he lets on, and is probably just a huge kid at heart, which there is absolutely nothing wrong in. Otto is voiced by Clancy Brown, which nerds all over the world know him as Kurgan from Highlander. He has a lot of other movie roles, but as for his voice acting career, he actually has a long list of villains he has done.
What do you... You could have crushed me any time you wanted. And it wasn't the law or the will of the people that stopped you. It was your ego. Being a hero was too important to you. You're as much responsible for this as I am.
Crash, crash, crash. Why must you always muck in my mud?
Why must you continue to be a thorn in our side?
What? Where was I?
It was all too easy. The diamonds, the police, challenges for an ordinary criminal. It's clear now that I am destined for more than this.
There's one other role he is well known for that I haven't noted, but I refuse to for one reason. I didn't make this connection of who Otto sounded like until way after I had finished the series, and when I learned it, I couldn't separate the two voices, so I'm saving you guys some sanity by not stating it.
Name's SRMTHFG, but you can call me Sparks.
Sparks is the team pilot and the hothead of the group. He is the first to judge and the last to be trusting. He is very competitive and at times very honest. However, amongst all the team members, he is the only one who calls Chiro Kid. While at times it seems like other monkeys treat him like a learning captain or an oblivious higher-up, Sparks treats Chiro for what he really is, an apprentice in need of mentoring, which makes Sparks very redeemable for other actions he has. There is one issue I have to get into here. Sparks refers to himself as SRMTHFG, which means probably that all the other monkeys have actual model numbers attached to them. Which makes sense for Otto and Nova having 4-letter names, as well as Gibson, and even Antares works in theory, although I will question this a bit when we introduce a new character later in the show. The vocal talent behind Sparks actually surprised me very much.
Alright, bloodsucker. Time to say bye-bye.
Whoa, wait, I'm not a vampire.
That's not the issue here.
Yup, 80s heartthrob and Michael Jackson enthusiast Corey Feldman. I'm actually very impressed with how well he fits into the role, seeing how his only other real voice work credit is that of Donatello with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies.
Hey Mikey, did you ever think about what Splinter said tonight? I mean about what it would be like.
I am Mr. Hal Gibson. Do not call me Mr. or Hal, just Gibson, please.
Gibson is the scientist of the group and clearly the most book smart. He thinks logically at all times, although at times it tends to hinder him greatly. But his smarts definitely comes to play a lot, especially when looking at his weapon. All the other monkeys have weapons that, while are very versatile, simply do one thing. Gibson has an all-purpose drill, which not only drills but shoots various projectiles and has all sorts of other abilities. I'll explain this as we get there. Gibson has probably modified his own weapon, being the thinker that he is, for all emergency situations. Gibson also has a full name, unlike the other monkeys, Mr. Hal Gibson. But I think that is just a product of him thinking logically, as people tend to have a first and last name, so it's probably just made up. Interesting that his first name is Hal, though. Ugh. Gibson is voiced by Tom Kenny. Kenny is arguably the best voice actor working in cartoons today, but before I get into that, I want to point out a role that I was surprised to learn was him. Yes, he is one half of the couple that is the main focus of the Smashing Pumpkins video Tonight, and the lady with him is actually his wife. But yeah, anyone who knows Tom Kenny knows him best as the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Isn't he great?
Kenny's list of characters is very impressive. Here's just a sampler.
Oh, blast it. Yes? Uh-huh. Sure, babysitter. Okay, I'll be right over, bye.
Elkie?
Yes, Hef?
If, you're not busy this Sunday, would you like to, come to dinner at my parents' house?
I cannot wait to share my memories with the other Foster's friends. Oh, my memories! I forgot them!
That's silly, Ed. No one can take away your memories.
No, the photographic memories I take all night!
Oh, yeah? You know who really deserves to be in jail? I will show you the true jerks! Behold!
It's too dark.
Behold! Behold!
Today is your lucky day, for I will show you the majesty of the sea as only the world's best surfer can.
Do you feel prepared for this challenge, Raimundo?
Huh?
Do you have any questions about the Sword of the Storm?
Same as you, Clowny. But I think we can save each other a whole lot of trouble if we agree to split the tank.
I am best known as Antari.
Antari is the second in command, for lack of a better term, the Mr. Miyagi of the team. He has profound advice and always seems to have a level head about situations. Antari knows more about the power primate than anyone else in the team, and tends to put himself as a one-with-the-universe type of character until it's time to fight. Antari is voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, and much like Otto's voice actor, he is best known for playing villains. Disney fans might recognize him best as Gantu, the antagonist in Lilo and Stitch.
Uncomfortable? Oh, good. The Council has banished you to exile on a desert asteroid. So relax, enjoy the trip.
However, my favorite role of his is that of the downright cruel Chairman Drek from the first Ratchet & Clank game.
Once I step on this ignition switch, a countdown will commence. The end of which signals the destruction of your pitiful world.
Much like Tom Kenny, Richardson's resume is huge, so here are some other roles you might recognize him from, including one I glanced over earlier.
Smear-free, it's Permaclown. Ooh, tough crowd. Look! Nothing up my sleeves. Nothing that won't put a smile on your face.
Black entertainment television is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Hey, you're perfect for this. I'm Lane.
That's a beautiful name. I'm Cleveland Brown Jr. I call upon thee to summon forth images of Floctar and Glimia, wheresoever they may be.
Please deposit 10 Dreckles for the first 5 minutes.
I told you we don't want to switch long-distance carriers. Oh, sorry.
I wanted to do that within 5 minutes of knowing him, but I needed him alive to get to you. Doomed citizens, surrender and bow to my will.
Our main villain is the Skeleton King, and we do not know much about him at first. Who he is, why he attacked Shukazuma, or what his ultimate goal is. The only thing we know is that people fear him. Really fear him. And that mixed with the power he throws around at times makes him an intimidating foe. Skeleton King is voiced by Mark Hamill. No! Funny how with many of the hero voice actors being known for villains, our main villain is actually voiced by one of the most iconic heroes of all time, Luke Skywalker. However, if you are aware of Hamill's past voice work, it shouldn't come as a shock, as he voices one of the most iconic cartoon villains ever.
Makes you want to laugh, doesn't it, Art?
Hamill's Joker is by far to be considered the best, sorry Kevin, but Hamill's other voice works are very impressive as well.
Next, steak tartare. But instead of the traditional parsley, I've garnished the plate with a lemon wedge! Disgusting!
Oh, that's really hard. They're like insects, but there's one thing unicorns never say no to. Drag racing.
This is Colonel Christopher Blair. Report to Admiral Tallwin. The wreckage of the Concordia has been located on Vespus off the Mistral coast. Evaluation. Total loss.
Well, enough backstory, as when we return we will get into the first episode.